So we've been out here for a couple days working on this 359, and I painted the hubs, and I've shined up some wheels. I'm working on the last wheel here. Trying to get it ready, and got these wheels shined up on the front. Christopher's looked at this thing, and we had belt alignment issues, so we've got belts. He's made some spacers and stuff to get our belt alignment straight. We got filters to do a service. We've already serviced the cooling system. He's working on a little bit of problem with the clutch hub stuff. So I polished up all the paint. It all looks pretty good. I'm gonna paint the breather and the fenders, but the hood looks pretty good. I've polished the grill shell and all. And Christopher, what are you working on?
Hey, what's up, you 8-bagger haters? Do you remember when you asked me when I was doing looking at the alternator bracket and I was doing belts
Right.
and all that stuff? Do you remember when I said I'm pretty much out of parts, and you're like, do the lights work? And I was like, I was gonna get to that when we get the headlights in, because one of the
headlights was out, and
like the bucket was there, and it has the trim ring, and it's got these, the visors. I think the visors are cool, but everything inside was missing. So it's like, I would just handle it when the headlights come in. I was like, well, you still check out the turn signals and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll check out the turn signals. None of it worked, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna piece together the harness and just make the lights work and stuff like that, right? And then it was, okay, well, I'm just gonna rip out the bad stuff, right? And then replace all the bad stuff. And then it was, well, I'm just gonna do the entire harness. Everything. Rear harness, front chassis harness, hood harness, cab harness.
Was it really that bad?
You're getting a brand new harness, dude.
Well, was it really that bad?
All of it. Look at all this. This is all extra on top of the factory harness. This is not even everything that I pulled out on top of the factory harness. And this is the factory harness. This is what was inside. And it ran these circuit breakers. And so it comes through, the power comes through on the driver's side, and then runs all the way over to the passenger side, and then runs through these circuit breakers here. So everything runs through 14 gauge or bigger, 12, 10, high amperage, high load. Nothing is ground signal. Everything is positive power, and that causes these to wear out quite often. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you're replacing parts all the time,
right,
or fixing dead wires. Or when I pulled this open on the dash, and you have a big glob of copper that big around because somebody decided to fix it themselves, and it didn't have any insulation on it whatsoever, except for maybe half a roll of tape over it. So you got a big glob of wires, and they're all power, and they're 40 years old, and it looks like this. Just this big rat's nest when you open the door to access. And the oil pressure line for the mechanical gauge leaked. So all of these connectors were full of oil. This is all full of oil. And this is a Band-Aid.
Oh, for sure.
That's a Band-Aid wire on top of another Band-Aid wire on top of another Band-Aid wire, where they either cut it, the bad wire, and then ran another wire from all the way back by the circuit breakers, and then it burn up. So just, you know, the high load of everything and not using relays, and everything goes to the circuit breaker. Like, look, this is what, here's the trailer, this is the trailer harness, and that, you know,
It's a mess.
is a mess. I can't reuse any of that. And then through the whole cable.
Oh, creeping green.
Yeah, the entire cable is full of it. So the entire cable has to be replaced.
Well, we got some more of that cable. No
And
problem.
then here's part of the hood harness.
Man, I
where
love all those yellow butt connectors.
Somebody decided, I'm going to cut the wire here. No, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to connect it here. Or I just need it longer, and all I have is a 2-inch piece of wire to make this one longer. Like this right here. And that's... I need my green wire to be just a little bit longer, so I'm going to add a little red wire. And that's not the only spot. Like right here on the engine harness. Like all of this. You see that shiny copper?
Oh yeah.
And the main battery cables going to the starter, they had shiny copper on it too, because they were riding on the frame. Like this is nasty. It's a mess. I can't reuse any of this. So it was... Oh, and more. Like when you take apart a harness to find out, hey, which wire works and what doesn't. So,
yep. Let's see.
It was faster to build a whole new harness than it was to try and fix this one. So we're gonna go with a fuse bar. We're gonna go with ground switches are gonna control everything through relays. So it's gonna be a modern, updated system that's not gonna use the circuit breaker. So we're gonna have less, you know, amperage going through less wires, but it's going to do the same exact thing. And it's going to be safer.
Well, do you have any part of it completed yet?
Hey, check this out, dude. I love how this is turning out. So this is the rear harness. So this comes from the cab right here. And I love this loom. So this, it doesn't have connectors yet. I'm going to lay it all in there, and then I'm going to put the connectors in there while it's installed. But this is the rear harness from the cab. And then this is for the reverse light switch. Then here is transmission temperature sensor. And then here is fuel tank 1, fuel tank 2, and the old harness, the tails were this long, so I went ahead. They don't need to be that long, but I went ahead and made them that long. And then here is front tandem temperature for the drive. Okay. There's the front drive temperature. Here is the rear drive temperature.
And we've got quarter loom coming for that, right?
Right. I didn't have any small loom to go over all of that, but all of that is going to be loomed, and it's all going to look like this pretty factory-looking harness. And
then everything will have terminations on the end where they plug, right?
Right. So everything, the reverse light is going to have the ringlets. The fuel tank is going to have the ringlets, so you can put the little brass screws in, and so they'll be connected. But everything else is going to have like weather pack connectors. So it'll have like a little mini harness connected to this harness. So everything will be serviceable. And even though the light bar that's on the back right now, the stop and the turn shares the same bulb, I've already pre-wired this harness for an individual stop switch. So if you want to upgrade to a light bar on the back that has individual stop lights,
you've got the capability built in already.
It's got the capability built in already. All you have to do is run your red wire to your brake lights, and then you're going to have to switch over one of these wires up front on this end of the harness. All you'll have to do is switch over you'll have to plug in the brake, and then switch your green and your red for your left and right over to the other side of the turn signal
Right.
switch. So that's all you have to do. Really simple in order to change it from a 2-wire to a 3-wire
Okay, cool deal.
back. So that one is the main part of it's built. The small tails will have looms, but I've already built the. Which one is this? This one is the. This one's the hood harness.
That'd be all the forward-facing lights.
This is all the forward-facing lights and the lollipops and the little markers on the fenders right here. We don't have them right now, but it's already pre-wired in with. It will be pre-wired in with a connector, so that when we, if we do decide to put lights here, whether we fill it or put lights here,
We got the capability.
we already have the capability. It's already there. It just looks like a roll of wire without any loom on it, but everything is already ready to go.
Just needs to be loomed up.
Just needs to be loomed up. And this one that I'm working on, so this one is for the hood, and then this one is the front chassis. So this will connect the cab to the hood, and it also has the engine harness on it. So this includes the switches for the Jake brakes, and what was on here before was a 1-wire to the Jakes for the 3-cylinder heads, but I went ahead and wired 2 wires for the Jakes. So the orange wire is going to run to the front and rear cylinder head, and the red wire is going to run to the middle one, and it's going to go on 2 relays. So we're actually going to have a high, medium, and low.
3-stage Jakes.
Yeah. So
3-stage
we're
Jakes.
gonna upgrade that to go from just on and off, just high and then off. You can
To 3
actually
stages.
switch it up and down. So when you're going down a grade, you can actually control your speed a little bit better instead of
Cool.
having to go on and off, on and off.
Cool. Well, I think
Well, that's 100 foot of ground wire.
Well-
It did all the main harness. I didn't do it. I haven't built the inside yet because I'm still waiting on parts to build the power distribution panel, and it's gonna go on the firewall right behind the column. But it's on aluminum, so you can polish it. You can make it look shiny if you want.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
he picks at me about getting the truck pretty. Trying to make him look good going down the road. I mean,
It doesn't make it run, but it might get better gas mileage, right?
yeah, it makes it more aerodynamic.
There you go.
All right, I bothered you long enough, so get back at it, and I'll get back at it, and we'll get back at it together.